Hello, so my name's Kusaladevi, and if you're watching this video then you've come to the Nottingham Buddhist Centre channel to find out more about meditation. And the meditation that we're going to talk about and practice today is the Metta Bhavana meditation on developing loving-kindness. So I'll say a few words to introduce the meditation generally, and then we'll actually have a led through practice as well. So the word metta means loving kindness. It's not a sentimental love. It is a very sort of vibrant, dynamic, imaginative identification with other living beings. It's at its best, it's a strong, deep wish for our own and others' happiness and well-being. And sometimes in the Buddhist suttas, metta is spoke about as this love that is as strong as a mother's love for her only child. So it's quite a high ideal that we're aiming for. But as with any meditation, the idea is that we practice. So we're practicing the meditation to develop and cultivate more of this loving kindness. So this sense of really wishing beings well, and in a sense like wishing for their highest potential. So the word bhavana literally means cultivation or development, or even sort of calling into existence. I quite like that. So we're calling into existence these qualities of love and kindness, which at their best, at their highest, are a natural wish for the well-being of all beings, regardless of their age, nationality, race, sex, where they live, whether we like them or not, whether they're a friend, an enemy, whether they're someone we know or we don't know. So yeah, very beautiful meditation. And the idea of the meditation is that as well as loving kindness, what we're trying to do is develop positive emotion generally. But that isn't, positive emotion doesn't have to feel pleasant. So it's more actually, it doesn't have to feel good. It's more that we're trying to find an intention within ourselves to really wish others well. So we don't necessarily need to feel particularly well or even happy when we're doing this meditation. Sometimes people think if we're trying to develop loving kindness, then we're going to feel really great when we're doing that. That's not necessarily the case. Again, as I say, it's a practice. And the most important thing is that we're connecting with the intention within ourselves for ourselves and for all other beings to be well. And it might not be easy to connect always with that intention, but we can just keep coming back to the fact that even us wishing to practice is an expression of that intention. So the meditation is done in 5 stages, 5 equal stages. We start with cultivating metta for ourselves, and actually, although that's not necessarily an easy thing to do, especially in our culture, I've found, we do have to start here, so we can't really truly wish well for other beings if we don't wish ourselves well. So we're trying to cultivate this sense of limitless well-being and love for all beings regardless, but that does include ourselves. It doesn't mean we're trying to wish kindness on everyone else from us here. It's like we are part of all beings. We are part of this universe. We are one of those beings ourselves. So it's not always an easy stage, the first stage, but it's a very important one. And actually what I found is that sometimes some of us might need to spend longer on this stage than the others. So although usually the stages are equal, you'll get a sense for yourself when you start meditating of what will be helpful. Yeah. So the second stage is cultivating metta, loving kindness for a good friend. And the reason we put this stage here is that this stage just helps us get that sense of positive emotion flowing. So it's quite easy to cultivate or contact a sense of well-wishing for our friends, generally we really want our friends to be well. So it's easy to feel kindness and care towards them. Just to say a little bit about who to put in this stage. Obviously, because we do want that sense of sort of helping us to get that metta flowing, or the sense of sort of well-wishing, we're just wanting to start that off. It's good to put a friend who we're not finding difficult at the moment, so someone who we are really connecting with at the moment. And it's probably more straightforward not to put someone there who we're in a sexual relationship with. In a way, that just can complicate things a little bit. Other things can be at play there. So we just want to keep it as straightforward as possible, to bringing a friend into that stage. The third stage is where we cultivate loving kindness for someone neutral. And this is probably someone who we don't take very much interest in. We might even see them regularly in our life. It could be shopkeeper, postman, a neighbour, but someone who we just don't find that we're sort of interested in and we don't particularly want to cultivate a friendship with. So most people in the world fall into this stage. Most people in the world are neutral people to us. But it is really possible to become interested in them and to be curious about them. And this stage I find is really important for me to recognise that they share, that person who I just find not that interesting, shares these really same sensations and values of like wanting to be well themselves. So the fourth stage is loving kindness for someone that we find difficult. Sometimes we say an enemy, but that can be quite a strong word, which can create a bit of tension. So yeah, it's just someone who we're finding a bit difficult. I would say at this stage when you're learning the practice, don't put anyone really difficult in there. Maybe someone who you're finding a bit tricky, maybe a bit annoying, a bit difficult to be around. And perhaps in time you might build up, as you do the practice, you'll feel that you have a sort of more robust sense of what that positive emotion in yourself can be like, and you might be able to bring in people who are a bit more difficult and practice it with them at those times. And the final stage is very beautiful, and in a way it is the sort of culmination of the whole practice. And that's where we're trying to contact a sense of limitless loving kindness for all sentient beings, which is like a really big ask, and it's a really beautiful thing if we can in some way just touch into that a little bit. Yeah, when I lead through, I'll lead through sort of how we actually do that. But what we're doing is sort of moving out to really expand this sense of well-wishing for all beings. So there are also phrases that we can use to help us. But I guess I want to say, like, I'll bring the phrases in through the practice. But if you feel that the phrases aren't very helpful for you, then it's really fine not to use them. The idea is that there's a way in for each of us to this practice. For some people, the phrases really help to contact that sense of an intention of like wishing someone well. And for other people, they just don't work at all. So just see what works for you, really. So the phrases are, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering. And again, when I'm leading through, you'll get a bit more of a sense of that. The most important thing I find in the practice of the Metta Bhavana is that there's this sense of that metta or loving kindness has a sort of alchemy of its own, of sort of transforming any emotions that we have to be more positive, sort of helping our emotional sense become more positive. And the important thing is that we meet whatever's there within us. So we meet whatever sensations arise, whatever emotions arise. We're not trying to have a particular response or feel a particular way when we do this practice. We're just trying to accept and be with whatever's there, and doing that with a real sense of kindness for ourselves. So what that means really is just that, we just sit, we're aware of what's there, we notice what's there, and we don't try and push it away, but also we don't sort of get lost and drown in it, in a sense. So we're just being with what is in our experience, and at the same time we're then wishing ourselves or others well. And there's something that happens when our experience here meets the ideal of our intention, and that is where this meditation can really take hold and have its effect. But it can be difficult to work with emotions. It's not always, but emotions are strong and they take time. They can take time to transform. So we just need to have a sense of patience and acceptance with ourselves around that. Whatever happens in the meditation is okay, is absolutely fine, and is as it should be. And that in itself is a loving and kind response. So if we can bring that response to the whole meditation of like whatever happens here is okay, then we are practicing loving kindness. So just before we start, finally just to say that I do find with this practice that it's really important to remember that our emotions aren't abstract. We feel them when we experience them in the body. So it's really important, as with any meditation, that we start in the body and that we're in contact with the body. And if we lose that, we just keep coming back again and again to our body, to our sensations. Okay, so we'll just settle into a meditation posture. We'll close our eyes. Feeling a sense of the earth beneath us, connecting with that sense of grounding, being held by the earth, our weight relaxing into the earth. And at the same time, a sense of the limitless blue sky above, the space, limitless potential of the blue sky. Feeling our sitting bones on the cushion or on the chair, the weight of all the parts of our body. Noticing what sensations are most prominent within our body. Starting the practice already by just having a kindly acceptance of everything that we notice. And just come into our heart area. Heart center. Just noticing with a sense of curiosity what we find today, what sensations are present in and around the heart. Just noticing if whatever we find You can just meet with a sense of ease. Beginning the Metta Bhavana meditation. So in this first stage, continue that sense of just being present with our body, our sensations, our thoughts, just noticing without hanging on. Just connecting with a very natural wish that we may be well. Sitting right here, we want to feel comfy, we want to feel happy. That intention is natural. Just allow yourself to dwell with that intention. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. Noticing any response in your body to those phrases, just with a sense of openness, of curiosity. Notice if there's any softening, any ease in your experience, in the sensations in your body, perhaps particularly in the sensations around the heart area. not forcing, just allowing, just noticing. So in the second stage, we bring to mind a good friend. Someone who, if they walked in the room right now, you'd feel a very natural sense of warmth and care towards them. We might quietly say their name to ourselves. We might have an image of them appear. It's fine if we don't have any visual sense. You can just know what it is like to be in their presence. Connecting with a sense of our good friend. So in exactly the same way as us, this good friend wants to be happy. They don't want to suffer in their life. So we just connect with their wish for happiness, and we just think, may it be so. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. And noticing any response. Within our bodies to these phrases or to our friend. Just noticing. Just dwelling with care, with kindness, really wishing our friend well in their life. And the third stage, we allow our friend to just slowly fade. And we bring in a neutral person. Someone who we neither particularly like nor particularly dislike. Someone who we're not that interested in generally. Just allowing the sense of the presence of that person to grow, whether visually or a felt sense. Touching in again with our own sense of well-wishing for ourselves. We don't want to suffer. We want to be well and happy. And in exactly the same way, this person who we've brought to mind doesn't want to suffer. They want to live a happy life. They want to feel well and fulfilled. Just allowing ourselves to respond. May that be so. May this person be well and happy. May they be free from any suffering. And may they reach their fullest potential in this life. Just noticing our heart area again. Any responses we find there, any sensations. So in the fourth stage, we allow the neutral person to fade away. And we bring in any sense of a difficult person, someone who we find a bit difficult right now in our lives. And just touching back in with our own heart, with that wish that we connected with for our own happiness. Feeling the weight of our body. And then just allowing the sense of this person that we find difficult to grow. And then calling to mind that this person too is a being who wants to be happy, who doesn't want to suffer, who really wants to be well in their life. No matter what our relationship with them is like, it's possible to wish them well. So in your own way, your own time, can you connect with a sense of kindness, care, and well-wishing for this person? May they be well. May they be happy. May they be free from suffering. Whatever your response, noticing that without judgment, without pushing it away or getting lost in it, just noticing. What is it like to wish this person well? Can we dwell there and allow that sense of kindness to grow? So in this final stage, we'll bring together each person from the last 4 stages: ourself, our good friend, the neutral person, and the difficult person. Just allow us all to dwell together. And see if it's possible, just play with this idea. Is it possible to feel the same sense of care and kindness equally towards each of these 4 beings? May we all be well. May we all be happy and free from suffering. Noticing how that feels in the heart area. And is it possible for that sense of care and kindness to grow, to spread, to take in more and more beings? Perhaps in the area around where we live, our neighbours, moving out to the whole city, just allowing a sense of beings to come into our mind and be touched by this kindness. May they be well. May they be happy. Allowing that awareness to spread even further out to the whole country, the whole world. You might move geographically, just letting different kinds of people enter this sense of well-wishing. Old, young, rich, poor, people of all nationalities, people we like and don't like, people we know and don't know. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings in limitless space, humans, animals, may they all be free from suffering. So at the end of the meditation, contacting your body, just feeling again the weight of the earth, the air, your clothes touching your skin. Noticing sounds around you in the room. Just noticing how you feel right now at the end of the meditation. Just taking your time. When you're ready to open your eyes, so thank you for joining me for the Metta Bhavana Loving-Kindness meditation. I hope you found this meditation useful, and may it bring you much joy and happiness in your own practice. You might want to have a look at the other videos on our meditation toolkit. So we've got a whole series of different videos with different meditations. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again.